еще не распаковались, да, у нас тут немножко бардак, извините. Вот мы приехали.
We haven't unpacked yet. We have a bit of a mess here, sorry. But we have beds, we have mattresses. We are not on the floor. We have a shower and toilet there. So you can go to the bathroom and take a shower in this room.
Katerina, together with her son Halib, has just moved from the subway to a sanatorium near Kharkiv. They have spent exactly 2 months underground, hiding from the shelling. They are from Zolochiv, near Kharkiv, but they cannot come back because of the hostilities that are taking place there. Halib has a blue and yellow ribbon as a keepsake of his life in the subway.
We were playing with the boy Artem, then the military came. They gave us something and closed our eyes. They made it. I have been wearing it since the beginning. I never take it off.
Life in the subway cannot be called easy, Katerina admits. It was cold, the children were sick, they were only able to take documents, a backpack with things, and a cat. Most importantly, they did not hear the explosions and were in relative safety. So when they said to leave the subway, they got scared.
Мы вообще думали, что мы останемся на улице.
We thought that we would stay on the street. We were told for a week that we would be resettled, but there was no specific information. And it was scary that now we would go home somehow. We would go to Zolochiv, back under the shelling.
Oksana is from Chuhuyev. On the second day of the war, she and her son settled in a subway station. During this time, the child was hospitalized with severe bronchitis. He was cured, but now rehabilitation is needed, and the woman was placed in a sanatorium for another month.
Когда мы приехали к себе, нас уже вывозили волонтеры.
When we arrived at our place, this time volunteers took us out under the shelling. We ended up in the Pivdeni Vokzal metro station. Of course, I sympathize with all the people who survived all this. It's very hard. It will remain in everyone's memory for a long time, because it was not easy. But nevertheless, we are all strong. We survived it all. Glory to our Ukraine. Glory to our defenders. And to all the people who help us.
As soon as the shelling in Kharkiv stopped, the city authorities gradually began to move people out of the tunnel. At the stations, there are still several rows of tents, and people live in each of them. But they have been here for the last couple of days. The subway is being prepared for the launch. Kharkiv Mayor Igor Terechov assures that they are looking for other housings for the internally displaced persons who lived in the carriages.
We do not forcibly remove anyone from the subway. The only thing is that we started to free our trains. People lived on trains. They can still live at the stations. We are looking for hostels for everyone. We took a lot of people from the region who live with us today. We take care of them.
24 people have already arrived at the sanatorium complex near Kharkiv from the subway, says the chief physician Valery Zhuravlev. They are provided with medical assistance 24 hours a day. 4 psychologists work. 2 of them are military psychologists. So far, people have been given shelter for a month, but they may be able to extend their stay here.
Today my function is rehabilitation. We are rehabilitators, but people arrived and their housing was broken. You can't evict them because it's not humane. We are now solving the problem with the authorities, how to further solve this problem so that people can stay at least for half a year or a year. It all depends on investors. There seem to be those who can help us.
In addition to Kharkiv, IDPs from the subway are still being accepted in the Pisochnitskaya territorial community. It is relatively safe there. The armed forces of Ukraine were able to push the enemy away to a considerable distance.
We have more than 5,000 internally displaced persons now, who are officially registered in the Pisochin United Territorial Community. In addition, 80% of our residents have returned home. So we had a lot of people, both locals and the IDPs, who live in our community.
In total, according to the estimates of the Kharkiv authorities, 4.5 thousand people lived at the metro stations. None of them will be denied accommodation elsewhere. Kharkiv residents are looking for places in hostels. Residents of the region will be accommodated in sanatoriums if possible. Reported by Mirk Tefan, Natalia Belakudra, UATV News.